Once upon a time, in a kingdom not too far away, there was a young inventor named Mart. Now Mart was a curious fellow, and every day he would ponder the clouds in the sky. He'd watch them drift by his window and dream of what it would be like to float among them. One day at school, they announced a science fair, and Mart decided right then and there that he was going to build a hot air balloon and win first prize. So he gathered some materials, designed some blueprints, and before long had built himself an enormous balloon. It was striped red and blue and looked just like a giant candy cane. On the day of the fair, Mart proudly presented his balloon to the judges. They were impressed by its size and gave him first prize, a giant magnifying glass. But Mart wasn't interested in the prize. All he wanted to do was fly in his balloon. So while everyone else was distracted, he snuck away to a nearby field, got into his balloon, and floated away. At first, everything was going well. The balloon soared higher and higher above the trees, giving Mart a wonderful view of the kingdom below. But then suddenly the wind shifted and Mart found himself flying straight towards a dark and stormy cloud. Before he knew it, he was inside the cloud and lost all sense of direction. Then through the gloom, Mart saw a majestic castle made of sparkling ice. As he approached it, he heard a booming voice. "Who dares enter the Cloud Kingdom without my permission?" Startled, Mart stepped out of the balloon and bowed before the enormous figure that stood before him. "I'm sorry, Your Majesty," stammered Mart, "but I didn't mean to intrude. I was just flying my balloon when I accidentally flew into this cloud, and now I can't seem to find my way back out." The huge figure turned out to be the Cloud King, and he wasn't nearly as scary as he looked. In fact, he was quite friendly. "Well, that's quite a predicament you find yourself in," said the Cloud King with a booming laugh that echoed through the ice castle. "Tell you what, I'll let you out of the Cloud Kingdom, but only if you can answer my riddle." "A riddle?" asked Mart, a bit disappointed that his adventure was coming to an end. "Of course," said the Cloud King, chuckling. "It's a tradition. All who enter the Cloud Kingdom must answer my riddle or they won't be able to leave. Here goes. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" So Mart took a guess. "Are you a painting?" he asked. The Cloud King shook his head. Well, think again." Mart thought for a moment. "Are you a map?" The Cloud King roared with laughter. "Correct," boomed the Cloud King. "You win the right to leave the Cloud Kingdom. But remember, young inventor, curiosity almost got the better of you today. You must be careful when your inventions take you to places unknown." And with that, the Cloud King waved his magic staff and poof, Mart found himself back in his balloon above the familiar landscape of his kingdom. He looked down at the magnifying glass in his hand and smiled. Even though he hadn't meant to go to the Cloud Kingdom, he was glad he had followed his curiosity and solved the Cloud King's riddle. Who knew what other adventures awaited him? From that day on, Mart became known throughout the land as the hero who outsmarted a Cloud King. And whenever he felt a bit bored, he would look up at the clouds and remember his exciting adventure in the Cloud Kingdom. The end. Do you think you could have solved the Cloud King's riddle? Let me know in the comments. And remember, no matter where your adventures take you, always be brave and never stop exploring.